Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. Please help me welcome Cleo, Cleo the Seer, and welcome all of you to Kitchen Table Issues. Hello, Cleo.
Hi, here
Hey,
we are. It's
here we
another kitchen table issues where we discuss whatever we want to about politics
exactly.
and actually anything.
Yes, exactly. So if you don't happen to agree with our point of view, that's okay. You don't have to. There are many other channels that you can tune into. So, you know, but
Or at least bring it up. Say, hey, you don't agree, and we can have a
yes,
discussion about that.
yes, yeah, there is that too. So quickly, just want to say hi to Hello Phil, Dawn, Mimi, Mary Starshine, Janice, Nancy, and Viviani. Hello, Viviani. There we are. And for those of you that are just kind of sitting back and you're lurking, lurk away. It's allowed. So yeah, I will remind you to please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I have Cleo's um, YouTube information and whatnot in the description of the video. So go down there, take a look, make sure that you do that. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's free. And how many free things can you get nowadays?
Well, and there's no tariff attached to it or anything.
Exactly. No tariff. Totally. Totally. So hello, Artsy and Althea, Phyllis, TW, Anita K, Diane Kekich, nice to see you. Jan Gurney, hello, hello. Wow, you get Innocent Potato. Hello, Innocent Potato. Edward Kenneth, nice to see you. So it's it's kind of where do we start? Where do we start? It seems like everything these days starts and ends with Cheeto. You know, just when you think that they've gotten to the point where they've hit rock bottom, somebody in the GOP says, "Wait, just a second, hold on, let me have a go." It they're um, they're starting to slowly realize that the guy they've got in charge is losing his marbles. Entertainment purposes only. What do I know, right? So you were telling me before we started that yeah, there's um, a lot of people are realizing that his dementia is
Very, it's just showing up more and more. It's being real obvious. People are looking at this going, "Uh-oh, uh, uh-oh." He's just not, he's not completing sentences correctly. He's getting his facts mixed up. That's nothing new.
yeah,
He's lying continually, so they might be chalking that up to dementia, but I think that's just his personality.
yes,
Um, but the one thing he did do is he's tried to stop a war with Israel and Gaza, and I wish it could be true. He is getting, some of those hostages that were released were just very thankful to that
mhm,
happened for them. But as far as this war actually ending, like mentioned earlier, I don't think the ink was dry before you saw a picture of people being executed. I mean, it's just horrible that they're really not. They did part of what they wanted them to do, and I'm thinking, well, they would like to get those hostages out of there. They're tired of caring for them or even putting any effort into that at all, which I don't think they have much. It's amazing those people survived.
yes,
Um, but yes, it's wonderful that that happened. It is good of what he's trying to do, but he immediately took this successful speech of this is what I've done and look at this, and then everybody congratulating each other about whatever part they played in it, and it's
yes,
just it just gets to be gaggy. I mean, it's ridiculous because we just don't know yet exactly how this has turned out. He's saying he's done this whole thing. Now he's moving on to Russia and Ukraine, and so now he's saying that he has uh, brought peace to 8 different wars in the world. And
Yes, yes. He needs that peace prize. Okay, for
yeah, he's
those
not too
who are,
late for that. They already did the
yeah.
peace prizes, and it wasn't him.
No, it wasn't him. And it's yes, he's taking credit for whatever is happening in Israel. However, at the same time, um, the latest that I got was on October 7th. Of course, Israel's prime minister gave a speech about the hostages and so on. And this was a memorial that they did for the victims. Um, and he said, he made comments hours after Hamas returned the bodies of 2 more hostages, but said it was not able to access the remaining 19. So there are still 19 bodies that have yet to be returned. Given what Israel has done to Gaza and all the bombings and everything else, you have to, and I'm not being heartless here, but is there anything to return? Because these bombs and whatnot that are going off, they're not flying in an area going, oh, I see a couple graves. No, move over.
No, I mean, I think that they're being honest about that and saying we're trying to do this, but
Yes.
it's just not there. Many of the deceased have been buried under buildings and they just can't get to it. They're trying to. And I think Trump is even sending some people in to help them to try to see if they can find some other people that have perished in this, which that's just fine. But we'll just see about the humanitarian aid. Is that going to be allowed in there? Are the people going to be able to go back? Do they want to go back? Is the war actually over? That's what I'm
Yeah.
concerned about.
Yeah.
By the
And
way,
no,
and somebody over here, Debbie Powers, said that 45 may be starting a war with Venezuela, and I can't pronounce the damn country. I'm so
Venezuela.
sorry. Venezuela. So
Venezuela.
I still have a problem with it. Anyway,
You're putting Elia at the end of it. It's
it,
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Ah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I wonder what the hell I was doing. Anyway, yes, he is. He is trying to start a war with them. He is, bombing all those little boats that he claims are full of drugs and drug smugglers that are coming from that country, and
Yes.
that he's going to go in and he's going to attack the cartel on the land to stop the drugs. I'm thinking, nah, no, I don't think this is a good plan. On one hand, you're trying to stop wars, and on another, you're trying to start your own new war. And this kind of reminds me of it's even more serious than the Greenland thing. Um, he just he's all over the place. It makes no sense to do what
I
he is
know.
doing. I don't know. Did they have some big thing about a lot of drugs coming out of that country or any country?
No, no,
And
I don't think that they do. We have not seen any proof. We have seen pictures of boats that have been blown up. There are no survivors that you can question them and find out, were they just uh, fishermen who were out there, or were they actual drug smugglers and so on? Where is the evidence of the drugs? If you're talking about these boats are bringing in massive amounts, shouldn't there be something to show for it?
Well, but they're blowing them to smithereens, is what they're saying. I mean, they're just
Yes,
obliterated. I like what artist Liz said. I didn't know this exactly. Netanyahu and Hamas never signed a peace agreement. Oh my God. But they were sitting there congratulating themselves about a peace agreement, about all these things that had supposedly happened.
Well,
Um,
maybe they have the concept of an agreement.
well, well, and about blowing up the drug boats, supposedly, it
Yes.
was just unimaginable that they claimed that, they showed the pictures of these little boats being bombed. And then later on in the same story, they show all the drugs lined up, all the cocaine lined up on on the dock or something. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, wait a minute. This does not compute. You can't have smithereens and then all of a sudden drugs showing up on the dock.
Yeah.
It's BS. I don't know why he's doing what he's doing. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this blowing up little boats and now threatening to go into the country and start a war. And that's exact that he's going to
That,
start a war.
yes.
But he's
Yes.
been bucking to start a war with somebody somewhere all the way along. This is a so-called peace president who wants the Nobel Peace Prize and is supposedly stopped wars in 8 different countries, which is absolute BS. But he wants to start wars other everywhere else.
Yes.
I'm just like, no, it is. It does sound like a demented person. So
Yeah.
not
And
surprised that
don't
that's coming up.
forget, if he does start a war with another country, then there are certain things that he can invoke in the government. There's certain privileges that can be taken away in times of war. Um, there's also, it's very difficult to have elections when you're at war. Isn't that one of the things that um,
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he argued
that's a
with?
theory. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. He argued with Zelensky about, well, why aren't you having elections? And Zelensky said, because we are at war. Oh, that doesn't matter. You should still have elections. He is, yeah,
Yes, see, you're right. You're right. I forgot about that. He wants to have a war so that he can avoid any future elections.
yes,
Mary Starshine said they just had a ceasefire, not a peace agreement between Israel and Gaza. So,
yes,
okay, well, whatever. Okay, so they've had a ceasefire. That's not what I heard on TV when Trump was congratulating everybody, including a lot about himself. That
yes,
what he had done, that he had stopped this war, the hostages were going to be released, they were going to put humanitarian aid in there, that he's going to help out and bring in troops to help them dig into the bombed cities to see if they can find more bodies. Um, he made it sound like the war is over, and I think that
yeah.
that's kind of
No,
how they're pushing that. On the other hand, I didn't see anything in Seattle on the local news that talked about any of this. I think there might
no,
have been a brief thing about the hostages being released, and it was probably like about 15 seconds, and that was it. And I thought, okay, something's wrong here. This should be a big, big deal, and it's not.
it should be. If there was a peace agreement in place, yes, it would be. But no, it isn't. It's a ceasefire while negotiations carry on. One of the things that yeah, on Thursday, Donald Trump signaled that he was willing to see fighting resume if Hamas continued to kill people.
Mm.
Okay, so are you
Are
it
you confused?
it's like, yeah, it, like, shake your head. Do you hear a noise? Is there anything happening in there? Like, yeah, he wants to take credit for something that he hasn't done, but he also wants to appear as the strong man, that I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do all this. And you kind of, you can't have it both ways. Like, he's yeah.
You can if you're Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, apparently that whatever space he occupies where he lives, everything and anything is possible. It depends on the whim of the moment. It's the same thing with his and oh, hold on, I want to go back to something because I had yeah, one of the things that Netanyahu said while he was talking about um, the ceasefire and so on was he has said that he would be willing to delay or to restrict the amount of aid flowing into Gaza. He addressed the official memorial ceremony at Mount Herzl National Cemetery in Jerusalem 2 days after the Hebrew calendar anniversary of the October 7th attack. The prime minister said he remained committed to securing the return of all the dead Israeli and foreign hostages and reiterated his government's willingness to return to military action if Israel was attacked again. From what I can see, most of what, especially in the last year or so, most of what Hamas has done is they are responding to the firepower that is coming out of Israel. So maybe Israel needs to tone it down a little bit so that these things can happen.
Yeah.
Um, he, yeah, he also said, "Our fight against terrorism will continue with full force. We will not allow evil to raise its head. We will exact the full price from anyone who harms us." I don't know that those are words of someone who's working on a peace agreement.
All right, right. I agree. I agree. It does sound a little bit iffy.
Yeah, exactly. So, and particularly with one of the things with me being a Libra, I like balance. Okay, I like I like fair play. I like the appearance of fairness. So if you um, if you will do anything and everything to exact the full price of anyone who harms you, can you not offer the same thing to the Palestinians? They're being attacked.
Yeah.
There's been 68,000 of them that have been killed.
Wow.
So, what about, um, I understand you wanting to protect yourself, but is it also not possible for the other part to protect themselves if they are attacked? Or should they just simply go, oh, well, we here we are, we're Palestinians, we can be wiped off the face of the earth, it doesn't matter.
Well, I don't, there's a lot of people that support Palestine,
Mm-hmm.
Palestinians. So, um, well, it's just such a mess down there. You know,
Absolutely.
just a
Yeah.
mess. I just want to mention Mary Starshine. She came up with another thing. She says, "Is it true that the Orange Fool?" And she didn't say that, but I
Yeah.
do. Has ordered the border with Mexico closed on November 1st. Well, I haven't heard that, but I thought it was already closed because they have said that there's been no immigrants crossing the border. There's been zero immigration coming through from
Yeah.
Mexico, which, of course, when the people finally saw what he was doing, arresting people, shipping them off to other countries, putting them in concentration camps, um,
Mm-hmm.
just like the Germans and the Jews and all of that. That yeah, no, they did. They decided, yeah, okay, yeah, you know what? Never mind. I hope that they took a little turn up the
Yeah.
coast and went to Canada because I don't think Canada would treat them
No.
inhumanely the way that they've been treated in America. So I haven't heard about closing anything on November 1st, but God knows I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're already saying that they've got that problem cured and that nobody can get through there.
Exactly. So yeah, I have not heard anything specifically about that. I did have someone yesterday, I think during the show with Arthur, that asked about that. Um, whether whether it's true or not, it is just one more thing, um, one more distraction, right? And yeah, Mary Starshine says, yeah, if you travel to Mexico, you may not be able to return here if border closed. If that was to if that was to happen, but like I said, I haven't come across any news articles that specifically talked about that. So it could be a rumor. It
I
could
mean,
be
it doesn't sound like that makes a whole lot of sense because not only for people that went down there and want to come back, but also we still have trade with Mexico. And those people come by with their trucks and they've got produce and stuff, even though it costs like 5 times more than it ever did before. We still have a situation with Mexico. Um, so yeah, it doesn't really make any sense that they would actually close the border, but they have deterred
they
thousands and millions of people apparently
yes,
that
they have. And one
uh,
of the things when Trump started this in January, he talked about, the people who didn't want to be picked up by ICE, that they should self deport, and he encouraged that. And he said if they did self deport, that they would receive $1,000.
money, yeah, they'd receive money and they'd be helped out to do that. Anita
Yeah.
Kay said that he did say on TV that he was closing the southern border.
Oh,
Okay, well, we'll see how well that works out. The one
yeah.
thing I like about Mexico is the woman down there that's running the show. She
Oh,
doesn't
John
really
Ball.
put up with any of his BS.
No, she doesn't. No, no, she doesn't. She is not afraid of him. She's not afraid of taking him on. She's not afraid of calling his BS. Um, yeah,
And if they can't sell their stuff to the United States, they don't have any problem with that either, I don't think. But like most countries are saying, fine, we'll go elsewhere. But
exactly.
it makes no sense for him to continue to make enemies with Mexico and Canada. Um, let's just hope that he comes to
Yeah.
his senses, or that somebody says it's time for an intervention and let's put the man in a home. So let's just see what happens here.
Oh, oh. What I one can only hope. One can only hope. I think that there's definitely a talk going on behind the scenes of how they're going to handle things and what they're going to do. And you notice JD Vance is sticking to him like Velcro. Where Trump goes, that's what JD, because yeah, he's totally prepared, ready, willing, and able to step in on a moment's notice. You know,
Yeah, because he's gotten the training. He got a lot of training from Trump. I'm
yes, he
like,
did.
what?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I don't think that we're going to have to put up with this for much longer. Um, but yeah, he's definitely the the dementia. It is mind boggling, isn't it?
it
That if
is.
this,
It is.
if this was anyone else, I think most of us would be saying, well, don't they have family? Don't they have anyone who cares for them? Isn't there
Yeah,
any
exactly.
step in and can't you see that this is happening? Why?
It's the humane thing to do. He's not a well person. And
No, no, he's not. And the fact that nobody is coming up and doing that and saying that.
well, because they're afraid of him. There's a problem right there when you've got all the people that are working for him are scared to death of them. If they don't do exactly what they're supposed to do, say the right things, congratulate him, thank him, you know, play on his ego, give him all the kudos he wants, they're out. They're just out.
I understand that. On the other side of that, Cleo, is the fact that the man is demented. He doesn't know anything from one minute to the next. So, if you tell him, if you stand up to him and he says, "Oh yeah, yeah, no, no, I'm going to fire you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that," and it takes more than half an hour to an hour, you can run back in and see him and go, "Hey, Donald, how are you? Good job you did on that thing." "Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, my best friend."
Uh-huh.
Doesn't he doesn't have what it takes to make those decisions. And people more and more are, excuse me, realizing that his whole administration is nothing but get even retribution.
Oh yeah, it's so odd and it's
Yeah,
just bizarre of what we're seeing. But now when the government is closed down, he's taken a full advantage. You know, they just keep pointing fingers at the Democrats. It's all the Democrats' fault. Everybody, even Republicans, know that's absolutely not true. But
exactly.
they like to get the bad word out there because
It,
I don't know what they're hoping for, but and then this thing about they're not only going to furlough the federal employees, they're going to fire them. They're not going to have a job. So they're just ruining people's lives. These people have worked, many of them, for the government for years.
yes.
They have been loyal employees. Um,
Yeah.
it's
This
just terrible
close
what he's
to her
doing.
pension.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially if
Mhm.
you're close to a pension, get rid of them right away.
Yeah.
Um, so they won't get that extra money. So the government doesn't have to keep paying them anymore. Yeah, this is really it's really sad. I'm hoping I don't know why the Republicans don't just say, you know, it does make sense to keep the health care. It does make sense to support Medicaid. Um, you know, this is just it's just bizarre that they don't see that because what they're doing, if they get through with this and they don't change what the Democrats are wanting to do, it's going to be helter skelter. They're just, you know, people are going to lose their insurance. They're not going to have money to go to the doctor.
Yes.
Um, eh, and if a pandemic starts up again, we are so screwed. So
Yes.
I just, you know,
Yeah.
uh,
And did I distinctly remember, unless of course, my memory's going, which, I'm a little older, it could happen. But I thought that Biden had given a speech, and the he had said something about the Republicans wanting to get rid of Medicare and health care. And they all stood up and said, "No, liar, liar, liar."
that's right. You're right.
Yes,
I forgot about that.
yes. And he said, "Oh, good. We have you on record. You're
Yes,
not."
yes. Oh, that was
Yeah,
great. I forgot all about that little
yes,
thing. Like, oh, good. Then you admit it. And here
yes,
they are doing
there they
exactly
are.
what everybody said they were going to do, and they got all feisty just like they did with Biden.
Yes,
And they're
absolutely.
just a bunch of liars. So
Yes,
this is a problem. All this
yes,
lying, all this deception, and all this angry coming after people for no reason. I mean, the
yes.
people that they're coming after, those people have done nothing. They're just trying to live their lives, do their job, do the best they can,
Hmm.
and they've been doing it for years. And
Yes,
so now Trump comes along and says, "Yeah, well, to blame it on the Democrats, you're fired." You know, I mean, it just
exactly. And who are you going to get rid of when you fire those people? You're going to get rid of the ones that are close to retirement, and you're going to get rid of the ones that are in managerial positions because they get paid the most. So who do you have left to run the country? But it's like the journeyman apprentice. Are you going to
well,
are you
it's
going to trust a first year medical student to do brain surgery on you? I mean, he's almost a doctor, right?
yeah, this is well, we see what the administration that he's created is all a bunch of people that, Pete Hegseth and
Oh,
the attorney general and
Pam
s-
Bondi,
that woman, they're just inept. They're inept. They're way
absolutely.
in over their pay grade. They
Oh,
should not not be in there.
yeah,
So,
totally.
and we see what's happening. Like the one
Yes.
that's putting out all the like info commercials and blasting it through the airports while the
Oh,
airport
yeah,
can't
first
get
to know. Yeah, Yeah, it's because of the Democrats. The Democrats didn't fire a lot of the airport staff, a lot of the air traffic controllers, and all that. Why do you have so many, close encounters and near misses? One with Air Force One that happened as they were coming in for a landing. I think it was when he was. It might have been when he was coming back from England.
Yeah, yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah. So
And they're blasting this through the airports, and the airports went, "Whoa, wait a minute," and they took it down.
yes,
We're not going to have this because it was just absolute nonsense.
it
And
was.
so
It
all
was.
the air traffic controller people, they're now being overworked. A lot of
Yes.
them are just saying, you know what? I can't do this. There's
Yeah.
just, it's a super, super stressful job in the first place.
Yes.
And then they have this kind of, if you're supposed to have a dozen people working in one of those towers and you've only got six or you've only got four, no,
Yes.
they're not going for it. It's too unsafe. I don't really know how the airplanes are staying in the air right
I
now
know
because it's really scary what's going on there.
it is. It is very, very much so. And that's what you get when you have a government that functions on very unqualified people, right? That just yeah, it doesn't make sense. And sometimes, it really does boggle my mind. And I think, oh my God, how can so many people still not see it? How can so many people
Well,
still
and why are they letting it get
believe?
to this point? How bad does it have to get?
Yeah,
And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Um, just when you think it can't get any worse, it does.
it does.
So I'm thinking, how long are these people? When is somebody finally got Gavin Newsom? I think is doing what he can, trying to get the normal people together, get other governors together, and I think those people are working on things and stuff. But in the meantime, I'm just like, quit fooling around. This is no joke anymore. I feel like Biden, no joke, but
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think, and I've said this before many times, I think that things are going to begin to change as soon as those diehard, loyal Trump supporters, when his actions and policies start to affect them personally. Only then are they going to say, wait a minute, hold on. What's going on? There's
well,
only
just
so
like
much.
Marjorie Taylor Greene did about the health insurance and stuff.
Yes.
She saw that her kids, her grown adult kids, are going to be paying 4 and 5 times as much for
Yeah.
insurance. And as much as they want to, they're giving up on Obamacare. That's not even going. You're not going to have a choice. You can't afford it. You can't.
Mhm.
Do you pay rent and eat, or do you get health insurance?
Exactly.
You're not.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. What about those people who are, they're without the Medicare or the Medicaid or Obamacare, whatever you want to call it, without that they could not afford their medication, and that is something that keeps them alive.
Oh, and he's putting tariffs on medications now. I
Oh,
mean,
of course.
these things happen so fast. It's so I can't believe you bring something like that up, and I went, oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Forgot because
I
it's just
know
every day it's a new thing, and it's hard to keep up. But
it is.
yeah, this thing about the prescriptions is just well, it's inhumane. It's just inhumane. People
It
have to
is.
have their medications, and I keep thinking back to that one woman that said, because they were saying, if we don't have this, people are going to die. And she said, now, come on, we're all going to
Yep.
die.
Yep.
I'm
Yes.
like, what happened to that idiot?
Oh,
She-
she's still a representative or congresswoman or whatever.
whatever she was.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
hopefully
absolutely. The good
hopefully
news
she's going to
is I
step
think she's
down.
on the older side, so. she may find out more than or quicker than some others about what happens when you get to that point. But yeah, it's that total disregard for human life, that total, um,
Yes.
like I can't be bothered to think about your insignificant little problems. I'm trying to deal with cryptocurrency, and I'm dealing with this, that, and the other. Like there is, um, public service used to, it was something that some people aspired to, because there was there was something good about being of service to the public. Now it's a money grab. There is no service to the public. It's service to thyself. Yeah.
Well, X of Swords down here says if
Yeah.
TSA and air traffic all walk out, this BS will come to a screeching halt.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Wouldn't that be something if they just said, you know what, screw you all. We're not doing this. We're not doing it anymore.
I can't come in, got the flu.
And would that make it so that the government would open back up? They still have to deal with the Democrats. I don't think the Democrats are. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but I don't think they're going to stop. They're working for us. They're
Yeah,
trying to make sure that we still have health care and can afford it.
exactly.
So if it brought the airplanes to a halt and
Hmm.
nobody there to help them get in and out of the runway, then
Yes. On the plane, on the tarmac, on.
that would be great. That'd be great if they did that.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just like these different cities that Trump wants to send the troops into, and they're making it. They're dressed up as cartoon characters and
Yeah.
dancing in the streets and handing out flowers, and you know, they're just mocking the whole thing. And I just love that the way they're doing that. Now I noticed that Trump never merely mentions anything about that, nor does his attorney general.
Uh-huh. No. No. Well, he's not doing so good in court when it comes to those things. He keeps
Well,
he
the court
keeps
looks at
losing.
this going, "Wait a minute, where is the fire, the brimstone? Where is all the chaos? Oh, the chaos is a bunch
Yes.
of people dressed up in cartoon characters."
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And hold on, I had, what did I have here? Sorry. Um, on Thursday, U.S. District Court Judge April Perry granted a temporary restraining order blocking the troops' deployment to Illinois. She's a Biden employee, or a Biden appointee, excuse me, and she said, I have seen no credible evidence that there has been rebellion in the state of Illinois. So that was one he didn't get. The other one, from when he tried to deploy into Oregon, the Oregon district judge, Karen Emmergut, who is a Trump appointee, in his first terms, oh no, in in his first term, his Trump's first term, said, yeah, she wrote that the administration's justification for the deployment was simply untethered to the facts.
I love
So
that.
I, I do too. It's, yeah, it's a very nice way of saying you're full of bullshit.
Right, and so Innocent Potato, by the way,
Yes,
Innocent Potato, you are a knowledgeable historian. I see.
yes,
It says
absolutely.
She says, yes, this is a point. It's called the
Yeah,
Blitzkrieg tactics, like when the Nazis attacked and overran Poland September 1st, 1939. The point is to shock and overwhelm we the people.
exactly.
Well,
Exactly. Have fires all over the place so that you don't know where to look. You don't know which crisis to handle first because there are so many of them. And that is how we can kind of ensure the downfall of all this is don't give into the hysteria. Don't give into, um, you know know what's going on, have an idea of what's going on. Just don't allow yourself to fall victim to that fear. Oh my God, we're going to lose this. Oh my God, this is going. You can step back and do as much as you can in your own little backyard and know that this isn't over. It's not going to be over for a little while, but it is going to be over.
Yeah, it is temporary.
Yes.
But, if you're one of the federal employees that's losing
Yes.
your job, if you're somebody in business that is not able to afford, like say you're a restaurant or something and you're
Yes.
not able to afford things, I mean, the price of things is going through the roof. I couldn't believe that Trump had the audacity of, it was a week or 2 weeks ago, to say that the economy was booming,
Oh,
there was no inflation, there was an artificial non-inflammatory period, inflationary period
yes.
during the time during this time, because as we see, they're eating the cost. They're
Yes.
doing what they can. They, first of all, they ordered as much as they could before the tariff became in
Yes.
effect. They're also eating the cost a little bit, but that can't last. And it's
Exactly.
not. It's ending right about now, or if not before now.
Yeah.
That they have to pass on the cost. They can't survive, and nobody can.
No.
So the tariffs and the other weird stuff that this president is doing is just bizarre,
Yeah, and
and
you know what? It's to the point that he has threatened tariffs and talked about tariffs and blah 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 for so long that it's like the boy who cried wolf. You hear a tariff, and at least I do. I hear tariff and I shut down. Like you know, whatever he says today, he's going to change his mind about an hour from now. So why am I going to get excited about he's going to put a 50% tariff on such and such
well, he
when
talks about 100% new tariff on China, and
yes,
China. This is really, really hurting the Midwest farmers.
yes,
They can't sell their stuff. They're going to lose. Some of them will lose their farms. I know that there some vague remark about, oh no, we're going to help out the farmers. Well,
yeah,
you damn well better. You really better, because without those people, we're not going to eat. Um,
exactly.
and
And
then they
honestly,
have to be able to sell their stuff to other countries as well,
yeah,
because they have to stay in business. But
yeah, exactly. And there are I would really like to see some of those farmers who stood behind Trump his first term and who were backing him this this time around. um, I would really like them to take ownership for the the cost of their decisions, the cost of their wanting um, to not seriously consider the ramifications of some of the decisions that the administration is making. They didn't go past, is it good for me? They just
actually, farmers are different than other people. They're
mhm,
not sitting behind a desk.
no,
They're working very, very hard, and they believed him. See, that's the only mistake they made, is they believed him, and they also believe to support the president of the United States, regardless of who it is. And Trump had told them, it may be a little bit rough in the beginning, but not to worry. It's going to level out, even out, and you'll be making more money than you can imagine. Those people believe that. What he was doing is just setting things up so he could do it the way he wanted to do it, no matter
yes,
what. His big thing is to bring as much money to the government as possible, but where's that money going? And not
exactly.
to
It's not going to the government. When he's talking about, oh, they brought in so many trillions of dollars from tariffs.
yeah.
You didn't bring a penny in from tariffs because it's not something that goes to the government. It's something that's between the supplier and the retailer. You don't have really any involvement in there until it comes time for taxes or something else. But the money doesn't go from one to you and then to the other. You're completely cut out of that. And I agree. They did believe him. At the same time, let me say this. How many of us were out there warning, look what he did in his first term. Look at the damage he did in his first term. Look at the lies in his first term, the grifting in his first term. Do you really feel that, you're going to give him a second chance to do what? To accomplish what he didn't in the first term, which is basically, yeah,
Well,
just
and the second term is proving to be
yes,
so
yes,
much worse than we could ever have imagined. So
yes,
we just got a real big problem here with him. And also the thing about the budget, this constant thing that
yes,
they throw it at us all the time. Every year we have to hear about, well, there might be a shutdown because we can't come to terms with the budget. We can't figure the budget out. Let's think about that the next time we do vote for our people that are in Congress and people that are in the Senate. Why are they not working a little bit harder to make sure
yeah,
this kind of thing happens?
yeah,
When are we going to have people that can get along? The Republicans have created such a divide.
yes,
They want it to be like they want to be they want to control everything, but they're just such a mess. It's like taking over the government, but they don't know how to run it in the first place.
exactly.
And that's the whole point of having Republicans, Democrats, Independents is to get things fairly for us, for the people. So
Exactly. That
it's
that's just it. You you're supposed to work together. I'm I am a firm believer in that if you're part of the government and there is a shutdown of the government, you don't get paid.
yeah,
You
that's the way
absolutely. You're
that would help.
you work for the government. Yeah, if the secretary doesn't get paid, you don't get paid either. See how quickly many of them would come back to the table. I also don't think that there there should be a a more defined separation between the work that you do for the government and the amount of money that you are able to profit by, like lobbyists and so on and so forth. It this is what the salary for that position is. That's what you get paid. Don't like the salary, don't think it's enough, well then give the job to someone else. It yeah, it's just
it
and
is
thank
just
thank you, Phyllis. I wanted to acknowledge that. Thank you, Phyllis.
yeah, how nice.
That's very nice of you. Very generous. So yeah, there oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. Um Baron Trump. My goodness. Dear old Baron apparently could be in some hot water with the Securities Commission about a crypto uh, deal that he made.
Oh, you mean Baron, the young one that's worth more than all his other siblings?
Yes, apparently there was a short order that was put in, and generally when you're dealing on the stock market and so on, a short order is um, let's say um, I hold stock in XYZ company, and I that stock is now trading at $5 a share, and um, I happen to work on the inside, and I find out that the company is going to be expanding, and they're going to be maybe looking for some interim financing, which means that could signal to the market that something's going on, and the value of that share would drop. So I'm going to put in a short order, and I'm going to advise whoever is doing the trade for me that, okay, when it gets to $3, I want you to sell. When it gets to $3, I take a loss of $2. The day after that, the stock goes up to 6, hey, or 7 or 10, and I'm in the money. That's shorting the
Wow.
market means you're working on information that you can use to your advantage where other people can't use that same information. So apparently, with the in the cryptocurrency, um, and it's rumored that it's barren. We don't have, or at least I haven't heard anything specific that it was him, but it certainly sounds like it was him. Made about 20 billion or million. No, maybe. Well,
I
let's
thought I thought he made about $40 million.
could be. Could be.
Um,
For
that
some reason, 60 also is coming to mind. Anyway, I mean,
okay, it was 40, 40, 60. It's more than it's more than most of us will ever see. So,
yes, yeah, yeah, exactly.
and he's
And
got his dad to try. If something
yes,
happens that he gets in trouble,
billion.
his dad will he'll fix it.
Exactly. And he probably got not only did he get the information from his dad, but knowing who his dad is, and of course, entertainment purposes only, um, dad is not above throwing anybody under the bus. Doesn't matter who you are. So it's like, hey, dude, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to just do this little trade for me, and whatever we make, yeah, we'll split it. I'll give you 10% just for doing that trade for me, whatnot. So we'll see. But apparently, questions are being asked, and people are looking into it, and they're investigating, and they want to know. They want to follow the money. Where did that money come from? Where did it go? And
Mary Starshine says never invest in crypto, but this
mm,
is how the Trump family right now is
yeah,
making millions and billions of dollars.
yeah,
So I don't understand how it works. I've been trying, since I've heard about it, I've been trying to look into it, try to give it more. It's like digital money, but I can't figure out what it's supported by. And so,
nothing.
if there's nothing there to support it, then how can you possibly make this kind of money with it? I don't know. I don't get it, but it's
Hmm.
crazy. It's craziness, and it's
Yes,
really hard for most people to understand, and most people would just give up because they're not in that bracket, and
exactly.
they probably won't ever be. When you're talking billions of dollars, please.
Yes,
but
yeah,
yeah, there's a problem. But yeah, I know all the Trumps they're really into this crypto thing, trying to make
yes,
the Trump crypto coin and all that kind of stuff. And
yes,
they're saying that they're making just money hand over fist. So
yes, absolutely. Yeah. And Rose Blue said, hold on, where uh, that didn't.
didn't crypto crash last Friday? Is that what the one?
Yes, yeah, yeah, and it did. That's where um, that's where he made the money, because you put in a short, and you put it in to sell, and you put it in to buy, um, so that you come out ahead when you're doing insider trading. Yeah, you're dealing on information that the rest of the population doesn't have. So if his father did something that was that the cryptocurrency was going to come down in value, that would be a good time to put in order to buy some cryptocurrency. Yeah. So,
Well, though, that when Trump decided to raise tariffs, or at least threatened to raise another big tariff with China at 100%, immediately the stock market fell.
of course.
So he creates these fake
Hmm.
things so it can go down, go up. I mean, he is totally manipulating the stock market. If he
Absolutely.
doesn't get caught and in trouble for that alone,
Yes.
um, it's just amazing that they're getting away with this. I mean, he's the president. He is not supposed to be fooling around with this kind of thing. So I
Mhm.
guess what he does, he just tells his kids, gives his kids a
Yep.
little insight saying, hey, I'm going to pull this thing off with claiming 100% tariff with China because what was it? They didn't react fairly to some. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you call it? The important minerals that we need to make stuff like batteries and CPUs and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff that the Chinese are holding out on this stuff. Um, it's
Yeah.
just it's stuff we're trying to deal with that as well as all this other stuff that's going on,
I
and
know.
he's just manipulating things. Yes, he is. Why they don't stop him right now, I just don't get it. You
Because
know,
they're still making money at it. There's still some money to be made. And yeah, one of the reasons that cryptocurrency became so popular was the traditional methods of moving money or exchanging money, like banks and treasuries and so on. Not only did they have fees that are associated with it, but they also have guidelines that they have to live by. And so, any transaction that is over $10,000 needs to be reported to FinTrack, which is um, oh, financial. And I used to know what it stands for, but anyway, had to be reported to FinTrack, and it was automatically done through the banks. And you also had to provide a reason for why you were doing that transaction. And it was very much in part to be able to identify those those countries or people that might be dealing in money laundering,
oh yeah,
right?
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
FinSec, FinTrack, yeah, exactly, Rose. So um, in the case of let's say you purchase a house somewhere and you need to send a down payment and it's 50,000 US dollars and you need to send it to, I don't know, Dominican Republic. So you would do the transaction. You would be able to exchange it for the Dominican value of 50,000 US, and then you would put down for the reason for the exchange. I'm buying a house, and this is the address of the house, and this is a copy of the deed or purchase agreement or whatever, and that all gets logged in FinTrack and FinCEN and so on, so that anyone can look at it and follow the money, right? Know exactly where the money went. Anything under 10,000, you don't have to report. So you'll find a lot of people do transactions for $9,500, $9,999 to kind of get underneath that. Crypto was supposed to be the answer to all that because it doesn't have any value aside from the value that its participants um, give to it. It's not backed by money. It's very much untraceable in terms of where it goes. So it gets around a lot of financial regulations and financial laws. So that's why some people will get into cryptocurrency because they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy
It is.
thing.
Yeah.
And we're getting down to the wire here. We're almost done for today. So I
Oh
just
my
wanted to
gosh.
bring up one other thing about Kamala Harris,
Ah, yes.
that she came out today and said that people have said that she is the most qualified presidential candidate ever. And
Mhm.
oh boy, there's so much negativity about her saying that. it goes right along. What was the other thing that she said? Oh, that she got more votes or something, or more than in the 21st century, and of course everybody went crazy over that. Said, "Oh no, that's not true." No, it
Yes.
absolutely is true because you have to figure out when did the 21st century start, which is 2001. So Kamala Harris, for she may I can't help but think that she does these things just to poke the bear, just to
Yeah.
just to get a little reaction because she says something like that. And Gavin Newsom's doing the same thing. They're saying things the way Trump would say them, waiting for him, and he will respond to that at some point.
Oh,
And
oh, of course he will. He can't help himself. He
well, he
can't
called her
help
dumb as a rock. Dumb as a rock is
Yes. Oh,
Kamala
yeah,
Harris.
absolutely. Dumb. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, dumb as a rock. And
And but the
yes,
feed but the feedback on that
yeah,
comment that she made was so negative, and of course I threw my 2 cents in very positive because she wasn't saying I'm going to run, but she's not saying I'm not going to
no,
run. So she keeps it up in the air. I love that. I hope she
yeah.
runs. Actually, I hope something happens where when everybody finds out how the votes were manipulated and what Musk did on that whole thing, that that Trump has always been an illegitimate president. Who
Oh,
knows if that's ever going to come out? But
oh, it will. It will at some point. All that all that we can hope for is to live long enough to see it, right? But yeah, absolutely. And I remembered, yeah, what she had said during the debates when she was talking about Trump, and she said, yeah, any man that you can bait with a tweet is not the kind of person that you want, yeah, running the country. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's baiting him with a tweet, and he's chomping at the bit to to answer her.
and she also predicted all the stuff that he is doing right now.
Yes,
The
yes,
authoritarian stuff, the Project 2025.
yes,
She predicted exactly the kind of mess that we're in now. And God,
yes.
it would have just been right now. If she would have been president right now, all of us would just be, my God, what a relief. But
We Yes, we would be, and everyone would be happy until the next time that a Republican got into the White House, and then they would just carry on with doing what they've been doing to, absolutely take people's rights away and so on. So, yeah,
so, okay, yeah, good point. That's probably why we're going through all this, so
yes,
that we can put a stop to it in the end.
yes,
Because yeah, we don't want to have this going over and over and over again. The Republicans and the Democrats have to come to terms as an adult people that says, let's run this like adults. Let's quit pointing fingers. Let's quit, this thing of Trump saying, you did something to me, so I'm going to come back and get you.
yes,
Uh, Stop it. Just stop that. Why are we
yeah,
are people supporting this? I mean, they must be. There's Democrats, nobody's stopping this kind of stuff. They have got to stand up. They got to grow a pair and
yeah.
say enough is enough. Let's stop this. And I know I just feel like that the governors especially have been meeting and
Hmm.
exchanging ideas about different things.
I
So
think you're
hopefully
right.
that's, that 2026
Yes.
is going to be a whole different story. But I worry because I really thought that by now we would see, well, we are seeing, unfortunately, just the worst of the worst right now. But I was hoping that we'd see some progress in changing the administration, but it's not really happening quite yet.
No, but it will. It
It,
will.
well, it has to. It has
Yeah,
to.
absolutely. Wow. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for spending part of your evening with us. Appreciate it very much. Thank you for listening to us. And Cleo, a pleasure as always. I enjoy these interactions, and I always learn something new, which is fabulous, not only from you, but from the folks in the chat.
Yes, the chatters, boy,
Yeah,
they are really on top of this. I love it.
totally. totally. They got the info, man, and they're yeah. They 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 like to share, and I like that because it's yeah. It's called a call or a put, depending on the market order you place. Yes, yeah, Allie, it is. Yeah. So there you go. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. We'll see you. I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. So that would put us at October 30th, if you're available, Miss Cleo.
I need to check into that. I'm not sure.
Well, then, in that case, you
More,
folks,
more than likely, yes, yes.
perfect. Yeah. And just keep checking our YouTube pages and seeing the posts, and we'll let you know what we're doing, when, where, and how. And you can join us there. All righty.
Yay.
Fabulous. Have a great night, everyone. And Cleo, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right.
Thank you,
You.
Marina.
Uh,
Please.
bye for now.